decision not to go for framework was predicated on a very specific 1AR choice. I'm not going for it, so I'm going to make a couple explicit arguments at the top for why any offense they made on that other page doesn't apply here. Ace of point is all their offense derives from a static conception of the USFG as a model.
In order to be successful in debate, it requires a huge time commitment.
In some sense, your last debate of the year starts in the preseason because so much of the process for debate now is based on policy research and preparation that you do long before the tournament actually starts.
Probably a very small portion, probably less than 1%, actually ever gets used in debate rounds, but you have to be prepared for the unexpected, and so that forces a tremendous amount of research. And
I mean, it's honestly like you have two different jobs. I mean, one, you focus many hours on schoolwork, and then you come back from tournaments. We got back from Northwestern at 4 a.m, and we're supposed to go to class the next day. So it's a struggle, but it's one where you ultimately find a balance, and it usually works out for most people.
Once the tournament itself starts, it's nonstop. It's not just an afternoon event where you go up for the weekend and give a few speeches. Once you're at the tournament itself, it's 12 hours a day, 3 days in a row, and any free time you have, you're probably going to spend figuring out what other teams have been saying and what you're missing.
One thing I will say though is that even after you win a big debate, you get a couple of seconds to have an internal celebration. Then you gotta recalibrate and buckle down for the next debate because it's not over yet.
the academic debate has time constraints, and so you have a 9-minute speech or a 6-minute speech, and that gives an incentive for debaters to speak at a very rapid, quick pace.
And it causes extinctions into a vote affirmative. Now the Nietzsche page, they have conceded utilitarianism. In the 2 in our Ella said you should extend our util argument. The Treaty read a piece of
speed with which policy debate is delivered, which can be 200 in our case to 400 in other teams' cases words per minute. And that is strange to a lot of people. But here's the thing. If you have an activity with the following two conditions, 1, there are time limits on speeches, and 2, there is a requirement that you have to answer everything the other team says, it happens inevitably. People will just start talking a little faster, a little faster, a little faster, and it just escalates.
The thing about the fast speaking is honestly the goal of it is to get as many arguments out there as possible, to have as in-depth a debate as possible, to explore the position from as many standpoints as possible. And it doesn't really matter to us because once you're kind of indoctrinated in that community and you've heard that speaking so much, the brain actually has the ability to process that right off the bat. So anybody could theoretically develop the skills to, if not talk that quickly, understand that rapid pace.
These speeches are timed and there's so much information to process. Debaters have developed an elaborate system of shorthand where we jot down the arguments the other side is making while writing down our own responses to those. So it's a combination of having the shorthand to take good notes, but also use your computer to find the research that you already have or look up things that you need to fact check. I think if a debater wanted to, listening to just a regular paced lecture, they could write down almost every word a professor said.
I've always been somebody who liked learning, and there were always parts of school that were enjoyable about me, but I never really got as fired up about school as I got about debate. So I love my time at Michigan, but the thing that was like the greatest part of that experience was the debate program.
I honestly just love the competition. I love, waking up in the morning and thinking about how to strategize arguments against different teams. I love the thrill of showing up to a tournament and, all the work that's gone into the tournament and putting that into, a final product, which is usually, victory or hopefully victory.
It is a close-knit team. Many of the debaters, when not in the office working or in class, are also friends away from school.
It kind of defined the entirety of my college, experience. It was the one extracurricular I did. All of my really close friends are in debate.
Again, just like last year, Michigan should be one of only 6 teams in the country to qualify 3 teams to the National Debate Tournament out of a total of only 78 throughout the country.
And it's actually always been my dream since high school to get a first-round bid. They're really prestigious and it's really cool to get one.
Our team is very young. This has all happened. It happened very suddenly in the last few years. We've had a great year this year. The future is very bright.
In March, while we might be cheering our basketball team in terms of a national competition. We could also be cheering the debate team as they look at perhaps winning a national championship, and I don't want to jinx them, but I can feel it. If it's not this year, it'll be sometime soon. We've certainly got the talent on the team, and our time is coming.